Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm still laughing over the last video I made. It's because over the past 72 hours, 3 of the top 10 YouTube photography gear review channels said the exact same thing about the Sony a6300. They said it is an unreliable thing that is overheating. We can't use it anymore for video work. One guy says, it's overheating regularly and screwing up our shots. Another person says, we can't even film this video review anymore because it just keeps crashing and overheating. And another person said the same thing. These are old people with every one of these people has over 200,000 subscribers. 3 different channels within 72 hours made a video within which they said the exact same thing. That is the polite way of saying this thing is junk. Yeah. I'm still laughing over that because that is hilarious. That's not me saying this. That is these people saying this. What do you think of that? Yeah, okay. Yeah, anyway, yeah. This is about the Fuji X-T1. And Fuji, what Fuji does that no other camera company does. Not Sony, not Nikon, not Phony, nobody. Okay, and I don't know if anybody actually ever got a Fuji X-T1 when it first came out. But from where the Fuji X-T1 sits currently with its firmware, it is a radically different camera. So radical that if you were just to go down and say, we're not going to tell you what model this camera is, and you're going to show the specifications when the camera was released, compare it to its current firmware, you know, every person in the world that does camera gear reviews will say, this is a totally different camera. What model is this? This is a model here, and this is a different model over here. No, it's the exact same camera. Nikon and Canon and nobody else, Olympus, nobody has brought out, I mean, you can't even compare. I know this seems like a hardcore Fuji love video, but these are hardcore empirical facts. There is no camera company on earth that even comes within 10,000 miles of what Fuji does on firmware. When this camera came out, the capabilities that it has, I mean, it was a fine camera. But now, you know, you brought electronic shutter to it, you bought blast, you have the capability to use the burst mode flash photography with it. All these countless different capabilities, improved manual focus. I mean, the list is pretty freaking endless from when this camera was first released and hit the shelves. It is a totally different camera. And this camera's been out now for a few years. That means you're going to be able to expect the exact same thing. So there is absolutely no doubt in anybody's mind, at least anybody that knows a damn thing about Fuji, that when the X-T2 comes out, which has already got amazing specifications, from what I'm reading, the continuous autofocus tracking on it is incredible, that unlike, you know, these other camera companies, that's like, well, you know, once it's released, it's going to stay that way, other than like fixing a minor bug here or there, which is what Nikon does, like, well, it's got a little bit of a bug with Lexar cards, we're going to fix that. That's one thing, that's fixing a bug, okay? That's fixing a bug. Fuji has done and is done over the past few years something that no other camera company has done. They have keep increasing all these radical firmware updates that gives the camera that's been out now for years and years more and more and more and more features, improvements, feature additions, improvements, not like fix a bug, you know, that's what Canon and Nikon and Sony does. You know, it's like, oh, we got a bug, we got to fix that. That's different. That's fixing errors. Okay, fixing errors and adding features, you know, those are two different things, even though they're both firmware based. That way to fix a problem. What's a firmware? No, what Fuji's doing is like, we got some firmware updates, and you go, if you're not familiar with Fuji, be like, what sort of bug does it? It doesn't fix any bug, it gives you more features. It's like, really? The camera's been out now for 2 years. Yeah, we're going to add some of these amazing features that you want, and we were able to write it into the firmware, and, you know. Hey, Nikon and Canon, why ain't you doing any of that stuff? You know, firmware is firmware. Pretty sure that if Fuji can add all these amazing additional features to their camera, why the hell can't you? We know, Nikon, that you, and look, I'm all about, my Nikon stuff is not going anywhere. We know that you fix bugs and stuff, but you know, is there any reason you can't actually add features and improvements that people want? Nikon is like a huge company like IBM. They are sitting at the 100th level of like the Trump Tower, and everybody else below, let them eat cake, you know. Fuji actually has their ear to the railroad track. They actually listening to what people want, and you actually have had to have owned a Fuji X-T1 or even an X Pro 2. From what I hear, the X Pro 2 firmware that's going to come out soon, I don't know if it's going to be the end of this year or the beginning of next, is supposed to increase its autofocus speed to that of the not yet released X-T2. And that is going to be phenomenal. I mean, there have been crazy firmware updates that added all these features that are just, you know, remarkable. It's like, Canon's never done anything like that. I mean, why don't you name me a feature other than like adding 30 minutes of video to the $6,500 Nikon D5, instead of having a 3-minute record time, they increased it to 30-minute. Okay, that's a feature addition, but it should have had that to begin with, right out of the gate. Nikon does not release firmware updates that increase the features of their camera. And, you know, I can't compare Fuji to anybody else on that level, because Fuji's way the hell up here, and nobody is even within 1,000 miles, much less spitting distance of Fuji in doing that. So, bravo to Fuji on you for doing that. Nobody else is doing that, so. And this isn't my opinion, it's just a damn hardcore fact. There's no disputing what I said. I mean, it's written in stone, and, you know, shut up. There's no arguing it. Just shut up, because there is no arguing it. It's a fact. So, good one on you, Fuji. That's something else to consider. That means when the X-T2 that's going to come out, I don't know what sort of features are going to add to it, but, you know, if it's going to be exactly like the X-T1, there are going to be serious improvements ongoing. So, it'll be awesome out of the gate. You're going to take something that's awesome and make it more and more and more awesome, just like they did with the X-T1. It's undeniable. Thanks for watching. Bye.